All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Crazy Crafter live stream. We are joined today, as always, by Michael from Nat One Videos, and joining us today from the Tabletop Crafters Guild is Derek Ludwig. Derek, welcome to the stream, man.
Thanks for having me.
Dude, thanks for joining us. Where you at today? Where you joining us
I'm
from?
I'm in Lansdowne, Pennsylvania, which is Delaware County, right outside Philadelphia.
Awesome. Welcome. How's go ahead, Michael.
Sorry, joining us today from the Tabletop Crafters. I just
Oh,
had
there you go.
there was the feedback. Sorry.
No worries, no worries. Um, how's the weather out there? Is it getting chilly for you?
It actually was colder last week. It's pretty warm right now. It's in the 70s. So,
We we flip flopped then because we were like wondering we're I'm in California, so I don't really know what the seasons are like in the rest of the world because we got one season. We live in a desert. It gets warm and hot out here for us too, but we actually hit a cold spell. We got down into the high 40s last night, so with a little bit
nice.
of rain. It's really nice, really nice. Well, well, Derek, it's awesome to have you on the show this week. I got really inspired by the Spanish houses that you've been sharing on the Facebook group, and they are pretty spectacular. I'll click over here and show you guys. They are quite phenomenal. And I tripped out on them because I'm always anything that catches my eye because there's so many cool builds that come up, and I know you and I were chatting before we started the stream how it's a little wild that there's so much that gets posted in the guild and it's easy to fall behind on it. So um, it's awesome when you can catch stuff and builds get inspiring. So this one definitely inspired me, and I'm excited you were available to come on air and chat a little bit about it today. Um, how long have you been into the hobby? How long have you been crafting tabletop terrain?
Well, I started mini painting probably about 2 years ago, and then probably around a little earlier than this time last year, I started crafting actual terrain. So,
Oh,
so
nice,
just over a year.
nice. Yeah, it's kind of my same time frame too. A little just over a year, working on a year and a half now. Um, it's it's pretty amazing. I love it when you get to throw a piece that you've crafted and worked on down on the tabletop, and everyone's like, "Oh!" Like it adds to
Yeah,
the game for sure.
for sure.
Are you playing 5e?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, not since March, but yeah, we were playing.
Have you guys halted the games since then? You haven't done have you tried doing any online campaigning or no?
Yeah, well, when it first happened, we were just finishing up Horde of the Dragon Queen, so we were
I
like
see.
probably about 2 or 3 sessions out from finishing it, right when lockdown started. So
Mm.
so it took me like a month or two to figure out if I wanted to do it online, and then we did it. We finished that campaign, started this new one, which I'm building these houses for, um, and we played one session, but I don't know. There's just something about sitting around the table that's it's almost like I'd rather wait than,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm forcing it online, having to get up and move people's pieces around, and it's
There's I gotta see I think I'm gonna do kind of like a different theme for each week in December, and one of the things I'm gonna do, I've got a RDM is a good buddy of mine, Richard Quiner, who runs his own YouTube channel, the RPG Daily, and something I want to pick his brain about is how folks are adapting, creating that tabletop experience in a virtual setting. Um,
yeah,
so I'll keep you posted when he does that because he's really been exploring lots of different options through. We started off with Roll 20, and then we've ended up on Foundry's virtual tabletop, which
okay,
just underwent a big overhaul last week for our session last week, and it was Last week I was doing this virtual setting is insane what we're doing, but we make it work. But last week I couldn't see the map and interact with the map. I was the only one in the party, so Richard had to pull up his Discord and share a live video capture of the map on his desktop while we're doing it. So it's definitely I can relate to and empathize with your feelings on the virtual setting. It's fun, and I like, for our group, man, like we've gone down the rabbit hole. So when it's D&D week, like we have a text thread that, it's nonstop all the time anyway, and then on a D&D week it's insane. So like we were of the mindset we can't stop, and the virtual element has been fun, and it's also been fun to see how other people have taken on that challenge, like, and yourself. So you're saying when you've ran it virtually, have you like set up tabletop terrain and then moved pieces around?
I got like a gooseneck holder for my phone.
Yeah.
And I just we just play on Zoom. So I just, log on to Zoom on my phone, and then I DM from my laptop. And I basically just hang my phone over top the terrain.
Dude,
pieces.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's great, but then, you have to be like, so player so-and-so, where do you want to move? And they're like, cool, can you move me 3 spaces? So I have to get up. And yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was good that we finished off the campaign we were working on, but yeah, I kind of want to start this one from like a, fresh in-person start.
Yep.
And, then I just get to build like tons of terrain for it, and then can just concentrate on running the games.
Nice. Do you have a question, Michael, for him?
No, I was just thinking that was really, really cool. We're running Roll20 at the minute, which is really cool and everything. But yeah, the idea about filming, there is, I can't remember, he's one of the guild masters in the guild, in the Tabletop Crafters Guild, has just started putting videos out again. He'd had a break for a while. Is it OG something? I can't remember. I'll try to remember the name of his channel. But he's just come up with a whole system for playing online with people, and it's a whole. So he's kind of built a tile system around it, and you can like building mini sets and stuff like that. It looks really, really cool. So I think that he's starting to put tutorials out on how to build that stuff right now.
Okay, yeah.
That's cool.
Let me just try. I'll try and find out what the name of it is again, just because I've just got, and then I'll come back to you.
That'd be perfect. That'd be great. The resources that people have created and have made accessible for all of us to continue playing, even separated during the pandemic, has been quite exceptional. So it's always a blast to hear how other people are or are not playing right now. The Zoom session too. We've had a couple of sessions where Foundry didn't work for us, and we ended up in a Google Hangout, Derek, where it's just like theater of the mind, just chatting about it as it goes along, and that's been just fine.
Well, that's one thing I was discussing with my players is like trying to just set up some sessions where it is just all like story based and not doing, because that's really the big pain in the ass for me is trying to run the game, and moving people's pieces for them and all that stuff. So yeah, it's something I should look into more.
So I've just looked up there. It's the DMG. I'm not sure his name, but I've watched his videos, and I don't know why I'm not remembering right now. But
DMG, okay.
The DMG. I'll send you a link, Colin.
Yeah, send it. We can definitely check it out. We can always add that to the description later. That'd be great. Yeah,
he's doing. It looks like he's starting to do some really cool stuff in regards to the way things are and people being able to play from home, but still using live terrain instead of digital maps and stuff. So yeah,
nice.
Oh yeah, into that.
Well, let's dive into this Spanish style house. So tell us a little bit more. Now, this is one of the houses you're building, you're working on over there right now for a new campaign. You said, right?
Yeah. So basically, what I do, like, I'm not much of a planner, so I usually just go online and just search medieval Spanish houses, and then just find one that catches my eye, and then just wing it from there.
That's why we're kindred spirits, Derek. You're one step ahead of me with your planning with the printed. I'll usually have it like the house that you printed out for inspiration there. I'll find it on I'd never had a Pinterest until I started crafting, and then I was just like, all right, I'm gonna do a Pinterest and have all these inspiration boards for my tabletop crafting. And there's dude, like, Pinterest is wild with all sorts of great examples on that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so I definitely am one where I'm like, I need the visual component to it so I can craft and build it. But these are spectacular. Is this so? What is the specs? I've got your the one you shared on the Tabletop Crafters Guild, the completed one that has the upper story with the railing and the balcony up on the stream right now. So how tall did this one end up? What were the specs on this one? Do you remember?
I usually do, each floor is about 3 inches, so I think all in all it's probably about 12 inches tall, because it's like 3 stories but it has a pitched roof. So yeah, and it has like the base of it probably about an inch tall.
Oh, there it is in the flesh too, dude.
So do you work to like a scale, 1 inch equals 5 feet kind of thing?
Yeah, that's usually what I run off of. Yeah, so just to keep everything consistent.
Yeah, this is quite amazing. I'm switching it up again here from a different view. So I think the back view of the house now. The thing that caught me, when I was looking at your build, Derek, was the roof. I love that shingled look. Out here in California, we have a lot of the Spanish style architecture and home. Our home has that same setup, but it's not the whole roof. But I just love, anytime I walk by our houses around the neighborhood and we're out and about for a jaunt, the Spanish style roofs always stand out to me, and my wife and I are always like, man, that is so cool. Like, we have kind of a boxed roof that's receded down, so it's just square, but the edges have that's the same type of shingling, but it's not the whole roof. So which is not a bad thing, because I hear when you go to re-roof that it's quite expensive. I'd rather spend the money re-roofing it on the tabletop. Tell us how you were able to create the shingles for your houses here.
Well, basically, I said earlier when we were talking before the stream that the first couple of houses I did, I did the corrugated cardboard style.
Yep.
Which kind of gives you that texture, and you can kind of just cut strips of it and then just tack them on. But because the corrugated sits on like a flat piece, it doesn't give you that perfect look, in my opinion.
Right.
So, I searched around on, like, someone who did like, tile by tile, and came across, this, I think he's Italian. His channel's called Modellismo Fantasy.
Okay.
And he did this style, but he made it look like really old and ancient looking. So there's like a load of extra texture and all that stuff. But I just wanted to, make it look more new and like up to date. So
you didn't want to bust out the X-Acto knife and cut individual chips in each shingle and weather each one individually, Derek?
No. So yeah, I just basically, pinched his style on how to actually cut out the tiles and then how to lay them, and then just, did my own paint job for them.
Nice. Well, they look good. And I think, again, the weather look is cool. You could go on and weather those more with just different shades of different wash would weather them too. Like dry brushing it would do it. Like, I think I like the look, the whole look of the building and the aesthetic that you created for for these Spanish style houses are fantastic. And again, something that I haven't seen on the tabletop. I built some modular walls a while back, and I kind of played around with a similar color scheme. I was trying to think of like, because we always see that stone texture, that grimy aged weather stone or bricks, and I love all of that. But I'm also like, where we are in our campaign, we're in a town called Hanlish, and Hanlish is in the middle of a desert, and it's got kind of this, Middle Eastern market bazaar type feel to the entire town. So I was like, when I was creating terrain, but that probably won't see the tabletop for this campaign because we're there already. But I was like, I want to try building something different and use a different color palette too. And that's also what I really enjoyed with your build here, is that it has a different color scheme that I'm used to seeing that all of us craft within. So it looks great. Now, also, go ahead, Derek. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just saying, like, I had a very similar thing where I had like a bunch of stuff that fits the typical like Northern European look, like cottages, all that stuff. But my new campaign is I play Forgotten Realms, so we're in which is like southern Sword Coast, and there's like one or two artist interpretations of like the area, and it's all these like clay tile roofs, and I was like, no, none of my stuff's gonna work. So get working.
It's definitely always refreshing to see new ideas and get inspired, and that's hence why you are here, good sir. Now I also really dug you did some small things where you added some great sweeteners to the top side of the windows here. Now, is that just a little bit of extra XPS foam that you cut out and just bent and cut? It's super simple. I love it. Now, how did you texture this building, and what did you? Is this foam core?
Yeah,
That's
this
foam
is
core, right?
Dollar Store foam core. Yeah. So I kind of thought I fucked up on it. Sorry to. I don't know.
You're all right.
But
you're good. You're good. Keep going.
So I actually put the building together before I textured it, and I was like, oh no, because I usually just use foil.
Yeah.
So I just crumpled up foil. So I already had it framed out and it was together, and I was like, oh no, I got to do this. And I already had the little, the bits on top of the windows that you said earlier. Yep. I already had all of that on. And I was like, I can't believe I did that. So I just went over it with foil, just holding it and, not pushing too hard. But I almost did more of like instead of rolling it, just like pushed it into it. And then I was like, oh, well, actually, I like this more than the usual way I did it. So when I'm starting this new building, I put it together again and then did it that way again. So
have you ever?
It's a bit more time consuming because you can't just roll it, but
it creates again. Yeah, if you like the texture, then it doesn't matter. It's all groovy. Now, did you draw your stone texture on the chimney?
Yeah, that I just drew with a Sharpie, and then went outside, masked up, and just took a soldering iron. I have a soldering iron with a really thin tip on it, and then just drew all those lines in. Yeah, it is a terrible smell, but it looks awesome. Oh yeah. That's corrugated. Yep. Yeah. It's just that flat bit underneath, because then the layers don't sit on top of each other, and from far away it probably doesn't look, it looks fine, and my players were like, oh my god, this looks awesome. But yeah, I just wanted the tiles to sit on top of each other a bit better. But Yeah, 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 yeah.
There we go. I'm back. Somehow I had muted myself. Awesome. What I was going back and saying that what I really enjoyed about uh, the different shingles was, if you don't have XPS foam, the corrugated cardboard it works just as well. Yeah, work with
Yeah.
what you got. Now, how did
Yeah.
you create this texture over on? How did you do the brick stonework underneath the stucco here on that taller tower?
That I the oh yeah, the thin one. That I just I I took foil and just pushed it in really hard to kind of like set it a bit deeper than the face, and then yeah, and then just cut little stones out, and then because it was on the corner, it actually helped me with the seams of the where I glued the foam together. I could just like make it look like brick.
Oh,
So yeah, I
nice.
just like forced it in and made it as thin as I could and sunk it in as far as I could, and then just drew
Dude,
the bricks out.
dude, that's dope. I like that. So those are individual bricks?
No, no, I drew them in.
Oh, you drew them
Like
in.
so,
Okay.
I pushed it in and then just took a Sharpie and then drew
I
each
see.
brick in.
I see what you're saying. When you push it in, you just receded the foam back in. Nice.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
that kind of torn away is so funny. Like that's what I did for my for those I did the modular walls I was talking to you about. Like I kind of like cut away a little bit on the XPS foam and drew in the brickwork underneath of it too.
Mhm.
It looks good. Again, it's just another layer of
Yeah,
texture and dimension. It looks really
yeah,
good.
yeah.
If you guys have any questions, so we got some folks here in the chat. Um, uh, that's rude. I'm sure everyone for a while there I muted myself, gents. So when they were like, "We can't hear you," everyone was texting me and typing in the chat. But we're also Daniel Weston here is saying he likes the idea of using Zoom. He might try to use that for his next session too, Derek, because again, it works great. It's a simple format. You can connect multiple cameras to the Zoom session too. So if you
Yeah,
wanted to have your phone log in to show something from another perspective,
yeah,
you can create multiple camera angles within it too. And I'll bet if you have like just whatever little you can get a really nice webcam for 20-25 bucks.
yeah, yeah,
And you can set you could get that kind of multiple camera angle setup if you desire on Zoom. It's a good one. Let's see what else is it saying. Yeah, if you guys have any questions for Derek about his build as you're seeing it, just throw it in the chat and we'll propose it to him because he's right here talking to us about it.
I've got questions. So the windows, have you got? Is it parchment paper behind the windows?
Oh, that is a good question.
on
Oh,
I think I actually changed the if you're talking about the shot that Colin used there, like is like kind of clear plastic, kind of
yeah,
like
that's
whitish clear plastic.
yep. That's
I
what we're looking
actually
at.
I actually ditched that, and here, let me grab it real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Looks great.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
I didn't like it so much. I don't know why. I it was just like a milk jug container, I think, and I just cut the squares out and then just put them in.
Oh,
But I took it out and did that kind of that brickwork around the sides again.
oh, nice.
So yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna redo these buildings at some point, but
I mean,
like with the actual
they
tiles.
look fantastic.
Yeah, I'm
They look really
yeah,
cool.
definitely happy with them.
Well,
But yeah,
these builds are going to be a lot of fun, and that's what we're going to be working on today a little bit in just a few minutes here on the stream. Now that I've actually cut the right dimensions out that Derek gave me for the foam, I'll be able to try to kind of make the model and try to catch up to him there a little bit. And then I'm excited to really check out these roof shingles. Now you have some blue. What foam is that? Like you have access to that. What type of foam are you using there?
This is just the XPS from Lowe's. I think it's like pretty much the same stuff
Is
as
it?
Home Depot. It's just I find it a bit tougher. It's a bit harder to texture, but
Oh.
for these tiles, because it's a bit more rigid, I like the way it bends more,
Oh,
like making the arches for the tiles. I
Cool.
felt like with the pink stuff, I had to make it a bit thicker for it not to just like fold in half, basically. So
that'll be interesting because that's what I've got a series of thin sheets that I've cut up here for the tiles, which I am gonna try the pink, so it'll be a nice compare and contrast for that today.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun. We'll have to see what we come up with there. Let's see.
Never
Um,
used blue foam.
say again there, Michael.
I've never used the blue foam. Is it really that much different to the pink?
That's what Derek was saying. You're saying
Yeah.
it's a little bit more rigid, yeah?
Yeah, it's just a little bit. It doesn't texture as easily. It still holds the texture fine. You just got to push a bit harder, and yeah, it doesn't take it as easy as the pink stuff. So whenever I'm doing like any type of like just normal terrain, I still prefer the pink stuff over this.
Mm.
But yeah, I thought it worked really well, and I usually don't buy this. Just I work in like a art studio building, so a couple of guys just threw out a couple hunks of this, and I was like, I'll take that. Don't throw that away.
Don't throw
And
it
then
away.
I was like, I didn't even know where he got it. And he's like, oh yeah, I just get it at Lowe's. So I was like, okay. So yeah.
Perfect. That's that. I'm excited now. I've never worked with it before, so next time I'm out and about and I'm near Lowe's, I'm gonna have to stop and grab a sheet of it, experiment with it.
Yeah.
Chris Fort in the chat here from Might and Magic brand. He's saying, he's saying perhaps he missed it. What's the process of creating the individual singles? Well, Chris Fort, if you showed up on time to the stream, maybe you wouldn't miss the stream. I'm just kidding. It's a good question. We haven't gotten into it yet. But tell us a little bit about that shingle process. How do you go about creating them? How do you get that bend?
So the shingles, basically, I just cut out a half, basically, I think it's 1 inch by ½ inch, like just long strip. So then I angle. How do I say this? So then on the one side of it, I mark it down to 1/4 inch in the center.
Oh.
And then I angle my Proxon cable, so then it like kind of gives you that like one thin end, one fat end. And then I just make my Proxon as thin as I can get it, and then just run off shingles for hours.
Man.
Yeah, then
I'm gonna have a heck of a time doing that by hand today. That'll be
Yeah,
exciting to see how that. You're like, bro, get a Proxon. I was like, no, I was not knowing the process. I was just like, I'll just cut them out. It'll be okay. I'll get it. We'll figure it out.
Might be pretty tough, but yeah, and then you're just left with hundreds of these little guys, and then I basically just bend them over a paintbrush. I tried to do, I messed with stuff for ages, but like pencils were a bit, just a bit too wide, but a thin paintbrush
nice.
So it's perfect. Yeah.
Perfect. So just like
I know
got a
what
little
it
thin brush here too.
Yeah. And then, just put on a stream and just bend foam for 2 hours. So you have a pile of it. But yeah, I mean that's it. That roof on there probably took me, if I craft for like an hour and a half a day, it probably took me over a week to do altogether.
Oh, cool. I'm totally going to be able to build to build that roof by the end of this stream with my Olfa knife and the wrong cuts. It'll be cool to get it to a stage where I can at least maybe cut get the building formed, glued together, and then maybe start like a row or two of the shingles. I think will be a good goal for the day.
And the first rows are the most important because you actually have to, like the front side, like the front and the sides, you have to actually glue them upside down. But you don't have to do it through the whole thing because you only see these sides from the outside anyway. So then,
did you look up? Did you just know how to roof this Spanish style single roof, or did you look this up as well?
Well, it's funny. I don't know if you guys know the show This Old House.
I've heard of it. Yes.
It's like I think it's like a PBS show. But it's just like a home renovation show, and they did a whole season in somewhere in Southern California.
Yeah,
so I watched that when I was searching on how to do this. I watched that, but I was just like, it doesn't help me on making them. But yeah, then that Italian guy runs that channel. And then he just showed how, he just has a square piece of cardboard and just shows you how to lay them out. So I just pinched his idea on, the sides and the front have to be upside down, and then you can just row by row.
Steal what you love. Steal what you love in this hobby.
Exactly.
That's for sure. Well, that's great. You've got, before we dive in, you had some other really cool builds that you shared with me recently. There's some cool goblin huts for your Bullywug camp that you made. We'll show that in a second. But Michael, we barely got to scratch the surface on discussing what you are working on over there. What are you crafting over there? It looks like you have a pile of madness in front of you. What are you working on?
You ever seen that horror movie, The Blob?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Look at that. Oh my goodness.
It's a piece of terrain. I'm building this for somebody else. And it's going to have some ruins on top, which I've also built.
Dude, look at you. Those are amazing.
So it's basically spray foam, and it was an experiment. I've seen lots of people doing small scatter terrain with blobs of spray foam.
Yep.
And I was just like, well, why wouldn't that work for a larger piece? Now, the thing is, so it's an experiment, and I would say that it's going to work, and I'm going to continue with it, but I think already it might not be the best way because it doesn't feel as structurally sound as I thought it was going to be. I might be more structurally sound if you put some like bark or different things in it and then sprayed the foam around it just to give it more structural integrity.
Okay.
It is very light, and I'm thinking about gluing it to a thin piece of board or something, and then it should be fine. So yeah, and I'm just going to carve it up and paint it, and hopefully it turns out okay and they're not very disappointed.
Now, are you going to set the XPS ruins inside and embed it within there? Is that the idea?
So I'm kind of. So can you see this circle on the bottom?
Yeah. Oh,
So
I see. You're going to set that.
Yes.
There's going to be like a plug that you can remove, and then there's a part here, like where's an entrance to a cave. And this internal part might be a cave.
More scorpions.
Yeah, exactly. So it might be a cave, it might not. But basically, I want it so that if the person wants to play without the terrain, they can just put the ruins on the table. Do you know what I mean? So they can just lift it off.
Yep.
How easy is that stuff to carve?
This?
Yeah, the spray foam.
Way easier than XPS.
Okay, cool.
It's almost too easy. It's less dense, you see.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah. So Derek, Michael's been carving now. It's been a skill that he's picked up during the pandemic and quarantine, and he's got. I think I still haven't bought one. I need to get one, but that little carving knife that he has is amazing. That
okay.
he's able to, it's meant for wood, but he's been carving up XPS pillars, and he's able to get unique textures with the dexterity you have with that, as opposed to just an Alpha knife or even an X-Acto. It's pretty dope. So I love all his work that he does with that texturing and carving with that knife.
Grab one of those.
Yeah, they're not. They're pretty. They're pretty inexpensive, if I recall too. They're not super expensive.
Less than $20.
Yeah. How often do you sharpen that thing?
A couple times a week.
Yeah.
It does. But that, I mean, you can use it without sharpening. I just like it really, really sharp.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. That's an important component for the work. Well, now so spray foam now. I can totally see what you're saying too, Michael, about having the infrastructure in place for the foam as well to help. You could get it to do a lot of really cool stuff that way too.
I'm definitely going to use it again, 100%. Yeah. That's for sure. So, but
is that what you're? Are you just carving off like the rounded edges to create some more jagged, sharp edges with the?
Oh yeah, all of this is going to be. I'm going to make it more rock-like structures. Yeah. This roundness is all going to go away. So it's just to build a structure. So I mean, it's an experiment. It's fun, and I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. I can't.
Oh, go ahead.
Great idea yet.
Right. Danny is saying the spray polyurethane foam that you're using, the density varies a lot. You're probably right to add the substructure to spray thin layers and build it up gradually. He's also saying a light mist of water helps initiate the chemical reaction to help it set faster. There it is. Yeah. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Say again.
Discovered that after the fact. So
yeah, all the
amount of stuff I discover after the fact is insane.
Yeah, that's welcome to our life in this hobby. You're going, oh,
it's 2020, as they say.
Yeah, definitely kind of the motto and theme for 2020. A few weeks ago for his channel, Derek, Michael built this amazing water rune structure from Skyrim, the video game. And he had like set it, and it was perfect. And when the resin cured, it had moved and like moved his stone in the middle of it, and he had to like it was like that was I remember that being a big part of the learning process. But again, that's what's so cool about the Tabletop Crafters Guild, about the different tutorials that all the content creators that are out there. It's what this stream is about too. Is like, again, sharing the knowledge, right? I wouldn't have known had you not brought that foam on here today, Michael. Danny's comment about the light mist of water to help initiate the chemical reaction. Like just good information to know all around.
I had an old friend who said his favorite phrase was "Every day's a school day."
Yeah, it's true. If you're listening, if you're paying attention, it is. Let it sit too long with too much foam in one spot, and it'll create large air pockets in the middle. Are you saying? Are you saying that are you encouraging that? Is that what you think he's? Are you encouraging that, Daniel? Letting it sit too long to create that pocket of air?
About it.
Or you're saying don't do that?
Yeah, because the pockets of air make it less.
Yeah. Like
it's softer and spongier.
Yeah.
To be honest, it would be better. The denser it is, the better, I think.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Yeah. Chemically spray foam is very similar to Gorilla Glue. I didn't know that. That's good to know. Dude, that plug is ingenious. You're just going to shave off the edges and seamlessly combine it together. Is that the thought?
That works.
Dude, That looks so cool, Michael. That looks great. I see. Very difficult to control weird holes. Yeah. That makes sense, Daniel. Thank you for clarifying. Well, that's an awesome build, brother. I can't wait to see what you do with that. Your videos this week, the tutorials. I really enjoyed the glass, creating the glass leaves, and that potion. I totally forgot about that guild build, and I was bummed I didn't get to enter, but it was really cool seeing everyone's potion builds, and I loved yours. Yours was really cool, man.
Well, the girl who won it definitely deserved to
Oh
win.
yeah, she did a great job. There's just, again, it's the amount of talent that's in our community is amazing. Shifting here to your little goblin hut, bro. Let's talk to us a little bit, Derek, about this goblin hut. This is great. I love it. This is a pretty this would probably if this would be the build that we could have completed probably from start to finish had we decided to do that. But we're gonna go big or go home. But tell us a little bit about the Goblin Hut. Where did you draw inspiration from this one?
That's just something I pinched off DM Scotty. Basically, I was in a bind right before it was like beginning of this year, and we were coming up to a point where we're in a swamps, like a bullywug camp.
Yes.
So yeah, I found his. I think his artwork for goblins, but I was just like, I'm just gonna make them look grosser and throw them down in a swamp.
Are you? Have you ever listened to the podcast? Not Another D&D podcast, Derek?
No, I haven't. No.
Oh, all right. So my buddy Chris Fort, who's here in the stream today, turned me on to it, and they've been going now for. They're at the beginning of 2021. It'll be 3 years. They're on their second campaign. The first campaign, they've done one main campaign. It's about 100 episodes, and it's a group here in LA of writers and actors and podcasters, and it's a group of 4. And they early on in the campaign they encounter bullywugs, and the voices. Whenever I can't hear the word bullywug without hearing their bullywug impressions and their voices. If you are ever like, man, I need a podcast or something to jam out to while you're crafting, you gotta check out Not Another D&D podcast. They are they are amazing, and it's a good way to pass some time. You get to take a trip down to Bohemia. If you see it, I don't know if you see it here. I have the map of Bohemia, their campaign, over there. It's over there in the corner. There it is, hanging. That's where it's hanging right now. Yeah, but it lives there for a moment. I got to find a better spot for it in my office. Well, let's look. You did more than just the goblin hut here. You've got you set down the base. So how did you make? You said like a simple cup, right? Or some sort of simple. What did you use?
Yeah, just use like one of those little portion cups that you get from like a cafe. They have like lid. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And then just cut out a little doorway. And then the top is just some cereal box cardboard. Cut a circle, cut a line halfway through it, and then fold it so it's looking a bit, and just glue it on.
And you put the toothpicks up there at the front for a little bit of framing. They look great,
man. Yeah.
You got your bullywugs too. Now, did you purchase these bullywugs, or did you print these bullywugs? Like, how did you get these guys?
I was also in a bind for them, so I actually just bought the WizKids, the Griggs, I think. So
nice.
So they're pretty small bullywugs. But yeah, instead of painting them the bright colors that the Griggs usually are, just painted them green. Bullywugs.
What'd you do for the swamp here? Like, tell us a little bit about how you created all these lovely textures. Keep going. I have to. I got to step away from the computer. I forgot to plug my computer in, and it's about to die. So keep going. Keep talking.
So yeah, the actual base for the swamp was just I think it's a 2-inch thick piece of XPS. Then I just textured it, and then I took like a bunch of like old basil and bunch of spices I had, and just mix it into a big cup of Mod Podge, and then just texture the whole thing.
Nice. A little bit of I know Bard's Craft likes to use those spices and the herbs to create some cool textures. What did you use? What do you remember? What specifically you used? Because it looks great.
I think it was just one of those crappy like mixed Italian herbs. So it's like basil, oregano, like all sorts of stuff.
Nice.
And I had a big tub of it. So yeah, I just mixed that in. And then I had some of this stuff I just got from the dollar store. It's just like crappy, like thick flocking. It's like, dollar stores have those like floral arrangement places. It's just bags of that. I've not been able to find it again. They had it. My dollar store is pretty terrible. It's a constant rotation of stuff. But luckily I bought 2 bags of it. So yeah, it's like kind of like just mossy looking stuff. So then I threw batches of that on to make it like, some of the brush stick out even more.
Nice.
On this piece that we're looking at on the screen, what like the ground seems wet still, like you've got that wet look going. So what did you do for the wet look?
Well, that was one of my first attempts at doing resin pours. And I think I put too much paint in it, so it wasn't like see-through at all. It stayed like pretty like opaque green, and I didn't really like it. So I just took some like loads of clear nail polish and just painted it like a flat, more like a brownish green, and then just put some nail polish over it to give it a little bit of.
I like that wet look.
Shine, yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. I think that the shininess does make it look wet. I think that looks really good.
Yeah, it's again about taking it doesn't fail if like a component of the build doesn't work. You just you find a different solution for it, and I think again, anytime you add those different layers of texture onto it, and the nail polish certainly did that. I totally think that's a great takeaway for everyone is using. I had not thought about nail polish for that wet look either. That's amazing. And that dollar store flocking, I keep my eye out for that now. I haven't even gone down the floral section. One of my dollar stores near me has a pretty decent floral section, and I have not gone down there yet. One of the things I haven't done a ton of is build like trees or have the greenery in for my tabletop. So I gotta do that too. Yeah, looks great. Is that all of them here? Well, that's cool. The super easy builds. There's another shot of it with those trees. Now the trees, the actual stumps. How did you go about making the trees?
That was just I think inch or inch and a half washers, and then I just hot glued foil for the base to the washer, and then just built the tree out of foil and then just hot glued over top of it.
Perfect.
And painted it, and then I used that same dollar store stuff for the brush, which worked out because it made the trees look a lot more like jungle trees and like traditional.
Yeah, it's got kind of like a swampy, little bit more of a. I'm trying to think of the
hangy, viney look to it.
Yeah, it's definitely got the feel of a different region than your normal like woodland fantasy tree. That's great. Well, these are really cool. These are great builds. I'm getting ready here. I'm getting anxious because we've got a little over an hour, and I'm ready to build or try to build as much of this house as I can.
Okay.
If you are at home and you are interested in building this is always the fun thing too. You're more than welcome. Join along with us. I have cardboard. I should have put this in the description for everyone today. But you need a little bit of cardboard for the roof. You definitely could use XPS foam, but if you don't have XPS foam and you have dollar store foam core, use that. But I have a little bit of foam core for the house. Base of the roof that you're going to put the shingles on is cardboard, and then I'm using pink XPS foam for the shingles. Derek's got blue XPS foam. If you only had cardboard, You could do this build out of cardboard. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Derek.
No, I think cardboard would probably work pretty well.
I think so too. Like stripping it up and working it down. Like I think
Yeah,
it would create a pretty. The only thing it would get a little gangster on is if you go to like you'd have to seal it pretty good because if you wash it at all, you don't want it to warp on you, or as it dries you don't want it to warp too much.
And I don't know how well cardboard would hold, like the bend.
Yeah,
Probably would do all right.
I think so. You gotta probably work it a little bit more, but basically grab what you got and see if you guys can go along and do this build with us. Derek's gonna walk me through it here, and he'll walk all of us along with it here. So we'll go back to the big board right here, and by big board I mean my crafting station. So as you can see, it's well organized like it always is. Nope, it's got a pile of crap everywhere. What are the main pieces that folks should cut out for the building? So it's 3 6x9 pieces, you said?
Yep, 3 6x9 and then 1 6x6 for the front. I'm doing like something easy, so it's just one angle on the roof. So yeah, front is 6x6 and then 6x9s on the side. So the sides I just measured up 6 inches on one side and then just cut corner to 6, so it slants.
Oh, I see.
And
So
then,
so you did that for both sides on that one.
Yeah.
6 inches up, and then cut from corner to corner. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that's where I'll start because I have those. And what is the measurement? You told me. I forgot it though, Derek. The measurement of the cardboard base for the roof.
I think I did 6 1/4 by 7 1/4, and that gives you like a little bit of an overhang all around.
Cool. This is most fantastic. Let's see. Is there anyone out there that wants to join as we build here? Let's see who's out there. If anyone wants to join in, Danny, you're always more than welcome. If you're around and you want to build, jump on. Join in the fun. Okay, so 6 inches up and cut corner to corner.
Yeah, so basically you're going from 9 to 6 on the side.
Okay. So I need to do that. All right, here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm measuring 6 inches up and then just cutting the corner down, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Just knock it down to 6.
Okay.
So, Colin, whenever we went away during the break, or just before we went live, Derek was telling me that he used to be a Londoner.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I lived over there for
Nice. How
from
long?
from 2004 to 2013.
What prompted that move, brother?
My ex-wife was English, so
nice.
I was over there. I lived in London till 2009, and I moved to the South Coast, like Folkestone.
Okay.
For the last couple of years. But yeah, it was awesome.
So I'm gonna ask anyone on the channel when they've done this, like it's have you the Borough Market, you've obviously been to the Borough Market at some point.
Yeah.
And then the Wallace Collection, have you been to that museum?
Which one, sorry?
The Wallace Collection, I believe it's off the Bond. It's off the Bond stop at the Bond station off the tube there, and it's just like within walking distance of Bond station.
No, I don't think I was. No.
Okay, so the Wallace Collection, anything that is, if it's armor and it's medieval, whatever the heck, okay. I'm gonna check it out.
Now I know what you mean.
Yes, yeah. That is what I was doing in on our honeymoon. That's where we traveled to several different places. But my poor wife. Given my background in theater, I'm also a fight director. So anything sword related, I am there, man. And I was in heaven in Europe.
Yeah.
You just walk around. They got that stuff everywhere. It's like, oh yeah, you want to see some cool swords? They're right here. They're here. We have them in this shop. And I'm like, oh, cool. How the heck do we do that? I want more of that. Oh, look at that. There he is. Let's do this.
Can't resist. I can't quit you, Colin.
You got to do it. Danny West, this is Derek. Welcome to the stream. You're gonna join us in craft. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Cool.
I may be causing a feedback problem in like 5 seconds, but it goes away.
Cause the feedback problem. All right. So 6 inches up. That's what I think I need to do here. Hold on. I need to stand up and cut this thing. So I'm gonna stand up and cut this thing. That's what I'm gonna do. All right. So right here, you said 6 inches up. Cut it down to a corner. That's what I'm gonna do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I feel like it's gonna be not as tall as I need it, but maybe it will. Maybe I did this measurement crazily.
So the front face is 9 inches tall by 6 inches. Is that right? And then
I have the back at 6 wide by 9 tall, and then the side goes from 9 down to 6, and the front is just 6 by 6.
Perfect. To use my official cutting surface, the floor, for a moment.
He's gone down to confer with his little helpers.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
He already finished it. He always finishes his builds, man. And we're convinced he's got gremlins under there, Derek. Maybe it's that, or maybe he's just an amazing crafter.
It's the gremlin.
It's the gremlin?
It's definitely the gremlin.
I know I definitely screwed this cut up. maybe I'll go with it. I'm gonna go with it and see what I can do. This is definitely. So wait, I have a 6 by 9. I have a 6 by 9, and I made this cut wrong. What'd I do?
That's a 6 by 9. I know you cut it the wrong way.
I sure did.
Lengthwise. So 9 down to 6. So that's the 6 by 9. That's the slanted piece, and then that's the 6 by 6 piece.
All right.
So what you cut it long ways, I guess?
I guess I did. So I need to cut it. This way.
No, stand it up vertical.
Yep.
Flip it the other way, yeah. And then basically
from
like
here.
That. Yeah, like that. Yeah, exactly what you're doing there. Yeah.
Okay.
So
and
measure.
From 9 inches down to 6 inches at the corner. My bad. Yeah. See, I told you, Sorry. Derek. It's not your fault. It's me. I need to do it once. But that's what I like to do. I'm a quick learner. I got this.
I'm also not the best teacher, so.
No, you are a great teacher. Your instructions were correct. I am just, I'm the actor. I'm like, math, measuring, I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's my cut. There's the corner. Oh, this is going to look good here. See, you are a good teacher. You know why, Derek? Because I can be taught. Look at that. So I am going to have to cut out another 6 by 9 piece because I cut one that was not good. Let me do that again. Let me cut this one out real quick. So for the back side, you put windows on the back side of this thing, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me cut this real quick. Get this.
All right.
Hot glue gun everywhere. I'm gonna cut this thing at a funky angle just to get rid of it. Okay, there's that. Do you have your pieces cut, Danny? Danny, is your house built already? Your house is built, isn't it?
So I've got we're this far. So
Oh, you're doing.
Great.
Danny's like more than caught up with me already on the build. That's fine. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm cutting it there. Boop. There's my other piece. Now I'll cut this one out. Let's do this one. Measuring this one across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's my corner. Now I get to make one more cut. So after this, what's going to be the next step, Derek?
You can either. I mean, I always like to cut out my windows and stuff, but I did them pretty complicated. So, I mean,
Ooh,
feel free to do them however you want it.
complicated. How did you do the windows?
Well, I usually just, just put some black blocks on Photoshop, print it out, and then just lay it over my foam. Well, then I cut them out, and then later in my phone, trace out the windows, and then cut them by hand.
Oh,
I mean, you
snap.
could easily just put them wherever you want them. But yeah, I
Okay.
just did doing the.
technical question.
Mhm.
Are you offsetting any of your panels so that, or how are you doing your like butt joints on these?
So the face and the back I like to keep, not showing the seams. So I usually put the seams on the side.
Gotcha. Okay. Perfect.
And how did you do your windows? Let me see those windows again there, bud. Let me see what you
Did,
did.
like,
Oh my goodness.
just 3/4 inch squares, and I did smaller ones at the bottom because I kind of like offset the doorway inside like that. I don't know. If
Oh,
can
you
see.
did that. Look at that. I like that. You made the doorway inside. That's
Yeah.
cool. A little inlay there. Well, let me see the back windows there. You just kind of did.
Well, I'm
the
gonna
windows.
do. This is actually gonna be a door because I'm gonna put a little balcony here. So then I.
Ooh,
Love that.
ooh. I like it. Okay. Man, maybe I need to go back to standing for this one. This is like the way to do it. Okay. I'm gonna do that. Okay. So, for this new campaign, Derek, is this just are you prepping all the buildings so when you guys resume in person?
Yeah, basically, just so I have a bunch of stuff I can just throw down whenever I need it.
Awesome.
And it's mostly, well, I don't know how it's gonna play out, but in my mind, it's mostly gonna be a pretty city-based. So I want to have a lot of buildings, basically.
Until somebody makes a decision. Right?
Yeah, yeah. Until someone's like, "Let's go somewhere else," and then I gotta
something else.
try to steer them back without making it obvious,
Right.
Every traveler they meet on the road knows about a treasure underneath a house in the city, and
Yeah.
yep.
Hmm. Where am I at here? Let's go back to. Let's try to restart that. You guys haven't been able to see my amazing cuts. There we go. Now I'm there. Now you guys can see my amazing cuts that are happening over here. Oh goodness. Okay. Let's go down here. Cut another one. Maybe a little wide. Let's go down a couple more. what do you like to stream or listen to when you're crafting, Derek? What's your go-to? What's your go-to thing to pass time?
Either Critical Role, Critical Role, Black Magic Craft.
Yep.
I'm also I've been watching I think his name's Joe. He does Tabletop Witchcraft.
John.
I don't know if you watch him. He's
John.
Oh, John, that's it. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
He's really into like LED stuff, so I've been dabbling with that a lot recently. Which I did the front light on that building.
How's it happen?
Yeah, I'm lucky that we the house we just bought a couple years ago had a finished attic, so I just turned it into a game room / crafting room.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really quite jealous of anyone who's actually got a designated space, but in the nicest possible way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do have something that is going to make my life a lot easier is happening in the next month or so, which is, one of those old-fashioned letter writing desks where it flips down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Someone in my wife's family is getting rid of one of those. So we have to wait until after lockdown before I can go and get it. And that's going to be in the kitchen, and then I'm going to build some shelves, and I'm going to build a little corner for myself. And Lucy's being quite accommodating, and I'm basically going to build a Nat One Videos corner where I can try and make it look like a proper YouTube channel.
Well, that'll be lovely. That'll be good.
Yeah.
I mean, the channel's great already, brother. It's doing great. It'll be nice to have a dedicated space, though. It'll be good. I think we're back. So the stream, technically, it only stopped for like a little bit when I shut the computer down, but the stream is still running, and it says we're still broadcasting. Can you guys confirm? Oh, no. Let's see.
I see something happening.
It says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain a smooth whatever. All right. Well, we'll keep going here. Let's see what we can accomplish. What we can do. So I'm at the stage now where I can glue this thing together. Crazy. So I'm going to glue at least the backing of everything here. I'm going to get that going. Let me do that. Now, were you gluing the sides onto the very back here, Derek?
Yeah, I like to keep the face flush, so that doesn't have a seam. So the seam should only show on the sides.
Copy that.
That's just like how I like to do it, though. You feel free to do it.
Right. Let me see what I can do. All right. Well, that's what I'm going to do then. Let's see what I can come up with. How are you? How's yours? Yours looks like it's coming along just fine, Daniel.
I am having fun, for sure.
That's the point. Okay. All of the glue. Come on. Get it.
Just wait till you have to make like 400 shingles, then the fun starts to go away.
Oh, no. That's all the fun, too.
See. We shall see.
The way Black Magic Craft does strips of XPS foam for shingles.
What's that, sorry?
You know the way Black Magic Craft does strips of XPS foam for shingles?
Yeah. I've done that for flat shingles before, but these curved ones, I was like, I'm gonna try to do it.
I was wondering if come up with your own technique then to do the curved thing. Like maybe if you made this shingle slightly wider, you could still do your bending.
Oh.
Yeah, that's true. Or I was even thinking, do you know I mean, I doubt this would work because it'd probably melt the foam, but like a crimping iron.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
I was wondering if that would form the foam or would it just melt right through it? Probably melt right through it, but
Only one way to find out.
yeah.
That's
Buy
a
a
whole nother
cheap
segment
crimping
that you
iron.
come back for, Derek.
Yeah.
Like
Travel back to the 80s and get a crimping iron.
That'd be great.
hot it goes up, Chris, really. I mean, right now I'm melting lots of XPS foam just to get this stuck together with a bit of hot glue, but it's working out well for me. So for some things it works. Melt it, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Dude, look at this crazy epic house that we're working on. I love it. Ooh, yeah. Coming together. Coming together. How we doing there, Danny? Is it still healthy? Or is it... what's it doing for you on your end for the stream?
As far as the quality of the stream, or
It's still streaming. That's what I want to make sure.
sure looks like it.
Woohoo! That's a first. We had that's our first like crash on the live stream there. That's pretty good for the first go around of course it happens now, like as we've been doing it, we're like kind of rolling along, but that's how we get better.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh,
I am getting close. This is
So you're getting that building put together, Colin?
I am. It's coming together. This is a really cool build, Derek. I really am enjoying this one. I feel like for something so epic, like this is a pretty epic thing to assemble and put together in such a short period of time. And I feel like
Yeah.
or at least I feel like I'm further along on normal stuff when I'm building. So now is it the roof? Am I ready for the roof here, Derek?
Yeah, I mean, I build the roof totally separate,
Right.
and then
Right.
plop it on when it's done. So
It's turning out pretty cool. Got it all put together here. I still have like the black paper on this thing. I haven't been able to get it off. But I bet you I can do some cool texture stuff with that as I do the build. Okay, so putting that aside, what is the next step for the roof? How big is that roof?
6 1/4 by 7 1/4.
6 1/4. Okay. Okay. 6 1/4. 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's gonna go. Okay. By 7 1/4. Let's chop that off first. Now, have you started making shingles yet, Danny?
I have not. I am super intimidated by that. And not sure if I have the resources, but I'm actively trying to figure that out while I go. Though I need to figure that out because that is very much the thing that differentiates this project is those sweet Spanish tiles.
Those sweet, sweet Spanish tiles. Okay. This one fell. I'm not gonna have as much a cool overhang like you're gonna get on yours, but this one's it's like the largest piece I got, but it's pretty. It's pretty darn close. It's like 6 1/4 by 6 It's actually like 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. So
Yeah, that should work. Yeah.
that'll work. It'll be.
Maybe if
just
it's a bit
fine.
short, you can just tack on stuff at the end.
It's true. That's true. Okay. So, now for crazy shingles. Dude, this is the stream where everything is like my camera is caught on some cord that I don't know what it's tangled on, so it keeps tilting the camera. The stream crashed. I love it. What an exciting day. You never know what's going to happen on the Crazy Crafter live stream. Technical difficulties along with epic cool house builds today. What is you are they you said quarter of an inch wide?
Yeah, so basically
Ooh.
half inch, full inch, quarter inch.
Okay. So half inch is
The bottom.
uh-huh.
And then they're an inch tall, and then it's a quarter inch at the top. So it kind of gives you that shape.
I see. Okay. Well, let's do le half inch. Let's see what I can come up with there. First off, let's do this.
I mean, you could do just half inch by 1. It's just that they'll get harder to lay. It helps if one end is a bit wider than the other.
Right. Well, I'm gonna tape. I just need to taper them, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Great.
And yeah, it doesn't have to be exactly a quarter inch. It just helped me line it up.
Okay. I'm gonna create a bunch of these little strips first. These half-inch strips.
Basically, yeah, if you were using a Proxon, you just make a half inch by 1 inch bar of foam like this.
Yep.
And then I just angled my wire on my Proxon to match, and then just ran it through, stripped that down, and then you just run off paper thin strips of it
Okay.
for as long as you can bear.
I did the same thing with wooden balsa wood once.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that would be really cool too.
I never worked with balsa wood. I gotta try that.
Balsa, it's pretty great. I took some balsa wood. I just messed around with like a scrap piece that I had, and then I took my butane blowtorch that I have for like, you know, the kitchen essentially, and then I torched the wood to create like a burnt effect, and I was like, oh, I gotta build something
nice.
like some sort of like fireball effect or some magic spell effect that's like impacted it. So
Yeah.
So that's, and then it's gotta taper. Oh, that's pretty good. And you say you do an inch in length for each one, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna flatten this down a little bit and see what happens when I do that, and then I'm gonna cut. Roof shingles for days.
Sure seems like it. It's a lot of shingles.
It is a lot of shingles.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just over 30 just to get the outsides done.
Oh, cool. Have you
Yeah, I don't know
have you started cutting shingles, Daniel?
No, I went down the rabbit hole on a little side part of this project, and
Cool.
now I'm just desperately trying to get that done so then I can focus on
Shingles.
the shingle. Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Derek?
No, I was like, yeah, I don't know how to explain how difficult it would be without a Proxon.
Well, it's not bad. It's just a matter of, I think what I'm doing for this first one is I am doing an individual strip, right? I'm cutting this individual strip, but I have two.
Okay.
And what I'm doing with these, because you're right with
okay.
the flexibility, I'm gonna flatten them, put them together, and then I'll just double cut the strip and kind of
Gotcha.
create doubles
Yeah,
as I
yeah.
go along to try to expedite it a little bit. But this is also, again, this is us getting the tutorial of it, right? So
Yeah,
the cool part will be after this live stream today, I get to my oh man. Oh, so there I'm learning. Don't pinch it too hard because
It'll fold.
It'll
Yeah.
fold real quick on me here. I gotta maybe that one's up for whatever, but that's okay. The nice thing after the live stream today is a buddy who was in the live stream earlier, Chris. He's literally my next door neighbor, and we've been in quarantine for this entire time, and our kids are the same age, so like he's into D&D. He's part of the partying campaign, so the kids are becoming crafters too, and my wife and then both he and his wife hate me because the children are now saving trash, and they're saying no, this is for crafting. This is for crafting, Daddy. And I was just like,
Yeah.
you're welcome. You're welcome.
So proud of
everyone.
you. I'm so proud of you.
I'm proud of me too. I'm proud of them. Are you saying like the kids?
That's got to be going through your head every single time you look at those kids.
Dude, I am.
I did
I'm
that.
so excited.
I made them crazy.
We put swords in their hands this week and started letting them, like, seeing if they could take some because they were like, I want to do some sword fighting because they know what I do for a living and they know I have the swords, so they were like, we want to work swords with you, so we worked swords for the first time this week together with them, and they did a really good job listening. Most of it was them showing us their special moves, and then we were replicating those moves. But
Nice.
they listened to not swinging swords at each other.
Right.
They had to be careful, and I was like, you guys did great. We're gonna move on a couple more sessions like this, and we're gonna move on to some new stuff. So it's fun, and super lucky that we have them next door to hang out. Because that has got to be a rough situation for parents all over the world, not being able to have their kids play with each other.
Imagine.
Which is this is one of the reasons why this hobby is great. You get to, what a great thing to do with your children, to craft and create. Such a fun project and way to pass the time at home. Oh my goodness. I've got maybe half the shingles. for the initial row, Derek. For the initial row. And then it's folding them. I gotta fold them.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where you want a good stream or something to listen to.
Yep. Muy importante. What about you, Danny? What do you throw on when you craft? What do you like listening to? What do you like watching?
So I think Derek said it too. I've listened to a lot of Critical Role.
Yes.
It's hard not to feel some kinship with all those folks.
Yep.
And then I started watching a lot of the Acquisitions Incorporated live streams from Penny Arcade.
Okay.
They're just so wildly different from what you get from something like Critical Role.
Yep.
Where the Critical Role people are so invested in the characters, etc., and the Penny Arcade is so invested in weirdness. Like, let's just go for it. Let's have fun.
Yep.
I recognize that that's the bad decision, which is exactly why I'm going to make it. And that's a hoot. So.
Nice.
So hold up your various bits and let's see where you're all at. I'd like to see what's going on.
Cool. So here's the
Nice.
house. Like we're here. We have a structure. And then dude, I love his recessed window. And then Danny, you went on the balcony.
On there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, I got invested in this balcony, and I need to finish it before I can move on with my life. But
And then and then here, Michael, I've got a bunch of shingles that I've cut, and then I'm getting ready to try to curl and bend with the paintbrush, and I'm gonna try to layer down the first bit of shingles for the roof. That will be a good goal. And then maybe by the end of the day, when I finish the crafting session with the kids, maybe I can. I don't know. That's a bold, ambitious plan to try to cut and shingle this whole thing by today, but I'm gonna try. I'm going to try.
And
Favors the bold.
I also prefer tacky glue, so
Oh,
I
interesting.
usually only do a road. It's just because it's a bit more forgiving if stuff gets crooked. If I use hot glue, it's like
Once it's
because
set
if you
there,
try to put if you try to peel one of those tiles off that you've hot glued, it just tears it because it's so thin.
right.
So yeah, I do tacky glue and then just do a row at a time and just let it sit.
Well, I am an impatient crafter, so I'm going to dance the crazy dance here. So to roll these and get this, do you just kind of wrap them around the?
Yeah, just the thinnest part of the paintbrush, just at the top, and then
Do you just like? Is it do you just kind of like slowly form it around, wrap it around like
just
that?
like
Oh,
yeah, hold it like that, and then just push it, and then
yeah.
perfect. Yeah.
See, I don't want to hear it say you're not a good teacher. You just taught me. Look at this whole stream, brother. If I can do it, man, y'all can do it out there. That's for sure. That is for sure. Man, what a fun. I like little process like this. It's, we've talked about this before. Michael and I have chatted about it before too, because one of Michael's was it her first house that you built? You carved the individual shingles out was it balsa? It wasn't balsa wood, was it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, those. But it's extremely satisfying to get that individual, unique texture. The roof on your house really makes a difference on the build, and really makes the piece pop on the tabletop.
For sure. I was very pleased when it finished.
Yeah.
That's the thing with doing tiles. It's like very meditative some of the times, but then
Yeah.
you get to a row and then you come up like 3 or 4 tiles short, and you're like, oh.
And you're like, no, where did it go?
Yeah. I'm like, I don't want to cut any more tiles. But and also doing it row by row like this, using the tacky glue and having to wait, a half hour between, it helps from it becoming too monotonous. And
Yeah.
And that's why I like to do the roof separate too. So while I'm waiting for a row to dry, I can go back to the building.
Oh, I see. That makes sense. That's very smart.
A bunch of projects going simultaneously.
Yeah.
Well, you can be working on like that balcony on that end.
Yep.
Talk to us about that balcony. What are you planning on doing for that, Derek?
Basically doing what I did on the other, like I still have I made the template for the railing.
Nice.
So I'm gonna probably just make a platform off the back of it and then just stick a bit of that to it. See how it turns out.
Nice. What did you do for your balcony, Daniel? Because you like you said, you jumped head first into the rabbit hole, and we're like, well, we'll see you in a little bit, balcony rabbit hole. Like, what did you form up? What did you create?
So, it's just, I mean, I made an oversized door, and then I thought I have to do something with that. So now I just slapped an extra piece of the foam core in front of it, and now I'm making these little supports under there just to give it a little bit of extra embellishment.
That's awesome.
And because I can't imagine it would stay up structurally the way I had originally built it. I mean, it was a big enough joist, but it's nice to put in some additional timbers.
Yep. That'll look nice. Michael, where are you at with spray foam
Carving up.
carving?
Really, really cool. I'm actually starting to have more faith in it now.
Nice.
Yeah, the back of it's starting to look quite cliff-like.
Oh, that looks really good. That looks
Yeah.
great.
So what I've been doing is like carving off the round bits and then flipping them over and hot gluing them back on.
Yeah.
So, and it's that hot glue's adding to the structural stability, so that sponginess is going away. So, it's going well. Very cool.
Yeah, I like that spray foam. I hadn't even thought about using that before. What a quick and easy way to create a big section of rock terrain and formation.
Yeah.
What else would you use it for besides just creating rocks? What else would you? How else? What are any other ideas for it, Michael? Like what else you might use it for?
Not off the top of my head, no. I think obviously the small bits of scattered terrain, this is pretty much perfect.
Right.
I'll have to think about that. I'm sure I'm going to think of something. Yeah, go ahead, Daniel.
Well, I suppose if you set up some sort of like thin armature, you could maybe get a trunk for a tree out of it.
Well,
Yeah.
Actually, Colin, I have remembered something. You remember you said to me about doing the carving with the dice tower.
yeah.
So I've been trying to think of a way of doing that, but it's going to be larger, so you don't have the XPS foam. There's going to be a recess behind it. Does that make sense?
Say that again.
So the way I was thinking of doing that is sticking two pieces of XPS foam together like this,
Yep.
like a cord, and then filling the recess behind with this foam.
Oh yeah.
And then you can carve it like you have a block of XPS foam then instead.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I like that. I was also thinking about like creating the frame of like layering just like we did here with the XPS or the foam core. And then if you took a strip and you stripped and created the wood planks inside, taking the foam and then layering that as like the stucco for a different texture on the outside too. So like trying to like basically shape it and thin it in, and then I don't know how efficient or I don't know if it's logical to then try. Can you take while it's still wet and malleable? Can you carve and like create like texture into, or is it's just got to sit once you spray it?
This stuff is so sticky. I would not believe it. Honestly, like I got some on my hand the other day and I just couldn't get it off. If you touch it when it's wet at all, it is just going to be stuck to you, man.
Yeah.
How long does it take to set?
It took about an hour and a half to set, kind of with it just as a whole, but not really. I left it overnight.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
I was
What else is there? Okay, so I'm pretty good. I think I have at least enough to get me around the base of this for the first initial one. So why don't we do this? Is do you have to get the whole base around the perimeter of the roof before you layer on the top tiles, or no?
I mean, it's helpful because you got to go over them.
Copy.
It'd be hard to get it underneath.
Copy that.
But I mean, if you just wanted to do the base and
we
work
got.
up, that's fine.
We're gonna do it. We got 10 minutes. I'm gonna perimeter this whole thing. I'm gonna do the perimeter, and then I'm gonna get one row up. I'm gonna try to catch up to where you are with your roof. I don't know if it's possible, but we're gonna try.
I mean, with hot glue, it might be possible. Yeah.
So the okay. So this is perfect. That's the front of my roof. That just in case. Okay, so what is the process here? I'm just trying to layer them down, Derek, from like let me see. Bring
So
it up close.
basically, that's the top. So, but when you're laying them upside down like this, you want them actually backwards from how you're gonna do them. So
So like
when you're doing the upside down ones, you want the thin side of it at the bottom, and then it should go wider. Do you know what I mean? Like, so if you have one like this, you want the thinner side down. So then when you put the other ones on top, the fat side sits better at the bottom.
Okay. I see.
You see here how the ones up the side are the fat sides at the top, but when I'm laying them down there, it's...
Okay, cool. And all of the ones on the side of the house get laid. So the bottom here's going to be the bottom side of the roof that's
the
overhang. Am I layering these this way or this way at the
that way? Yes,
this
like
way.
That. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. All of them are facing the right way.
All of them are facing the right way. Copy that. Okay. Here we go. This is where we have Meatloaf's Like a Bat Out of Hell playing, so I can draw inspiration as I shingle away. Well, this is cool. How many of these houses are you planning on building for the campaign, Derek?
I'm hoping to get to. I also have this issue where, like, you build your first couple buildings and then you get better at doing it, and you're like, oh, I want to redo those first couple that I did. So
Sure.
I want to get to about 6, I think, for the size of my table to get like a decent
nice.
Street scene. Amount. Yeah.
Now, for your table, do you have when you say table, do you have a table that you've built specifically for gaming, or is it just a table that you have in the house?
Just our neighborhood has one of those buy nothing groups on Facebook. I don't know if you've ever
I haven't.
know
What's
those.
the buy nothing group?
Basically, people just post up stuff they don't want anymore, and then people are like, I'll take that, and if there's more than a couple people that want it, you just draw a name type thing. But someone was just moving out, and they're like, I have this kitchen table that I don't want anymore. So
nice.
Ended up being like 3 houses down from where I am, so I went and picked it up, and then it was a bit beat up, but I'm just putting terrain on it at game time.
That's all you need. It's good space. We keep teasing that, like, one of the projects when we, do we do it before we meet back in person or like once we start meeting? But like actually building a tabletop.
Oh yeah,
a table for it. That's something that my group has constantly been experimenting with. Oh, I gotta tell you guys this. So this is cool. One of our campaign members, one of my good buddies, is going to be starting up a business, and he's been inspired by, we have several buddies like Chris from Might and Magic brand. I got a buddy that is he's a great graphics designer, and he has his own clothing company. It's an outdoor clothing company, but he's also dabbled in like custom D&D shirts as well. He's a really good mini painter, so he's got a really cool Etsy store with D&D stuff on it. It's really neat. So our buddy bought a laser printer or laser etcher. So he is now looking into doing some custom dice boxes, dice towers, and his next step, he said, he's going to be designing modular terrain for D&D tabletop with the wood. So basically he can laser cut it and texture it, and then he can either paint it up or just ship it as is. So as soon as that comes up and he's got that, I'm totally bringing him on the stream to talk about. I'm excited to see what he does with that laser etcher. So
did you see that collaboration that Tabletop Witchcraft did with that table maker?
Yes,
that multi-level.
It's just
that table's insane.
So
imagine
amazing.
playing on that.
Yeah, imagine playing on exactly. Like just amazing.
Like the
It would
health
be-
counter, little health counters he had built into it and
Yeah,
everything.
it's so cool. I always like fantasize about the like the wormwood tables too that are out there. It's just
Uh-huh.
epic. So when you layer, I'm about to get the next stage for this tile laying, which I totally, you think you haven't, like you said, you think you have tiles for this build, and then you're like, oh,
You run out very quick.
I
Yeah.
have nothing. I'm gonna layer back up just a hair with these two, and then I want to get the last tutorial of how to basically layer them and continue the process. So I've got a couple back here. I've literally got a couple that I need to refold. So walk me through. I'm going to layer this first row now. I then just, is it overlaying the fat part of the tile in between the seams now? Is it layering it like, hold on, this is kind of crazy. But right there.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yep.
like right over the seam of the other ones. Yeah.
And do you go back and layer as you go back further? Is it just one shingle on top of that row, like layering it in between, and then like it's just one up thick, right? I'm not layering multiple levels. It's just that one layer like that. That's
Yeah, and
so
then like
cool.
and then your next row will just be like I basically do halfway. So then like I go across one and then I just move up a half inch and go across another row. Move up a half inch and go across.
Oh, so moving up a half inch. I see.
That's why I taper them off. So like the thin part's up here at the top. So then when I lay another one, it like covers them up.
Turn that sideways for me. Let me see that thing sideways.
It kind
I
of lifts
see.
off.
A little bit, yeah. Okay. Woo! Woo! What a
It is
What a-
monotonous, yeah.
what a wild component. Now, when you layer down the shingles, do you make them flush or do you also move them back a half inch? Do I move them back there?
The first row should be flush. So
Copy.
like if you're looking at the
Yeah,
I don't know if you
I
can
see it.
that.
I see it.
Yeah. So that's why I just do the first row with the upside down ones, because after that you're not going to see it anyways.
Dude, this is super cool. Well, we're nearing the end of the stream. Danny, where did you get? There?
Not far.
Well,
So
that's all right.
as so I'm the laziest person. So and by that I mean I'm always just looking for like the cheat. How do I do it fast? Right?
Yep.
And so and I also don't have a Proxon to make those things. So I thought, what method could I come up with to try to get a similar result, like just fast? And so I was taking a small piece of a cap that I cut apart, and basically what I started experimenting with was trying to divot foam in a curved shape and see if I couldn't make like rows of tiles that I could make. And I did not succeed per se, but I did come up with like a little curved shape
Oh,
on a
that's
little
great.
scrap. And with the idea being that perhaps with some sort of cheating or finagling, I could get, multiple
That's great. I see. I
laid
dig
out.
that jive. I'm jiving with that.
I don't know if it was a success, but I've had to make a Spanish tiled roof in my theater work before. We did it with styrofoam cups, and it took weeks.
That would be because that would even taper out properly too.
Yeah,
So
it took a really long time,
Mm.
and so that's actually, frankly, Derek, why I appreciated your work so much, because I knew how incredibly tedious and how much work it can be to create one of those Spanish tile roofs. And I mean, my brief experiment versus your end results, explains it all. Like, yours looks amazing and mine is like a pile of mushed foam, right? So that effort obviously paid off.
Yeah,
but you never know when that type of style is going to come into play and be used, like how that's going to be something you can incorporate later. That's what it's the name of the game, trying it and experimenting. That's the fun part about it. How far did you get there, Michael? Where are you at?
Just not even halfway, probably.
Yeah, but how's that? How are you digging that rock texture that you're creating as you're carving into the spray foam?
I think I'm going to have to use some filler. There's lots of little bubble holes. Filler or just cover the whole thing in some kind of sawdust or something. Which, I mean, both of those things are going to add to the structural integrity.
For sure.
Really good. I'm just happy.
It looks great. I'm digging the spray foam. I'm totally going to have to try messing around with that now. That's going to be a fun project to work on.
Dave is working on it. It's going pretty good.
Dude, it's looking great. That's looking so cool. And then Derek, where did you end up getting? Like, your show us the roof there. You got pretty far. I appreciate, dude, the tacky glue. That's why it looks so good, is because you take time to layer everything. Where I'm like, I don't want to wait that long. Look at that.
Yeah, I got both sides and then 2 rows up, and I have enough shingles to probably do another row and a half. So that's probably where I'll get to today, and then
call it good. Now the back row, Derek, on the back side, do you put the shingles facing the same way as the very bottom row? Does that make sense? Does the bottom row or the top row also get that treatment? If you can see it, it's right here. Same thing, right?
Yeah.
Facing that same direction. Cool.
I don't know if I'm gonna do it with the one I'm doing now, because I think I'm going to, like, maybe with the sides too, put like some type of like I don't know, kind of like strip of like what would look like lumber or something on the side. So depending on how much shows from the roof, I might do that on the top or not. I'm not sure yet. But
well, nice. It's definitely a wonderful new skill that I now I have in my arsenal, thanks to you, man. So I'm excited. I'm excited to finish this build up and then also see how they create this roof. Like, I'm thrilled to see what this is gonna look like once I get it all done up. I swear I'm gonna get this roof done today. That's my goal. I don't care what I gotta do, but I'm gonna get this freaking thing built. Well, we're wrapping up for the week. Thank you all for joining us. Thanks for bearing with through a little bit of technical difficulty. But it's so wonderful to meet you, Derek, and to get a chance to pick your brain about these awesome Spanish houses that you're building. Your players are super lucky. They have an awesome DM that's building some cool stuff for their tabletop experience. That's going to be a hell of a game. But if you haven't done so, don't forget to, if you like the stream, don't forget to subscribe, turn on the bell notification. We go live every Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you're interested in joining us on the show, make sure you email me at crazycrafterchannel1983@gmail.com. More than happy to have you on the show. Derek, I hope you'll be back and join us again one day, and you're more than welcome to come craft and hang out anytime, man. We're here, brother.
Cool. I'll see you guys around for sure.
Yeah. Well,
I'll send this through when I'm all done with it.
Yeah,
too.
You'll have to send pictures. Send pictures of the work in progress today too. That's perfect.
Cool.
That's perfect.
Sounds good.
All right, y'all. Till next week, we'll see you we'll see you. We'll see you next week on the stream, and tune in. Definitely excited to have John from Tabletop Witchcraft on the show. And
I'll be checking that out.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be epic. We're gonna have some fun next week. Cheers, y'all.